All right, Zatima fans, we're talking season 2 here, some character information. There are two characters in question I want to talk about because this is related to Fatima actually being the one who's getting served as opposed to Zach. Process server, female 30s, open ethnicity. This business-like process server hands Fatima a gold envelope, letting her know that she's been served. Served for what exactly? Well, we find out a little more in the second character I want to talk about, a character named KC, late 30s, early 40s. KC is a member of the same law firm as Fatima. Now, keep this part in mind. Possibly working as an investigator. And KC has great respect for Fatima. Convinced that she is going to be a great attorney someday, KC agrees to do a favor for her and will run surveillance on a stripper who is suing Fatima for damages, pretending to be injured while still working at a club. Now, let's be honest here. When it comes to strippers in the show, it could only be one of two people. It could be Heather or it could be Deja. Now, my first thought would be Deja due to the fact that Fatima pretty much, wailed on her after dragging her out of the hot tub. Now, yeah, there's the whole continuity stuff, but the thing is, in Sistas, the hot tub situation was already mentioned by Fatima and Deja, so it did happen in Sistas continuity. I would have said Heather, but Heather, she's running the child support thing right now on Zach, not to mention the fact that, well, Fatima slamming her head into the wall, that was in episode 1 of Zatima. And she's already been over to the house with the kid, early on in the season as well. So for her to sue that far, down the line makes no sense. So if we're quote unquote ignoring sister stuff, then Deja makes the most sense. I mean, heck, even in Sistas, remember in the gym, Fatima kept slamming her hand or her wrist or arm in the locker. And it was really messed up how she did that, because later on when Fatima and Andy came over to, Zach and Fatima's house that night to meet with Madam, Deja was outside trying to apologize and said, "Girl, I could have sued you." And Fatima would have been like, "Well, my friend here's a lawyer." And, Andy was like, "Yeah, that's right." And I said to myself, yeah, Andy's a lawyer and whatnot, but that doesn't really matter because Fatima was the aggressor in that one. Yeah, Deja was the one talking about, backing that thing up on Zach because she couldn't make the rent. But Fatima was the one that, I hate to use, pretty much was the high school bully, the mean girl. She was the one slamming, Deja's wrist in the locker. So if anything else, she could have pressed charges. Not to mention she had witnesses. Her two friends that ran out of there, but they could have, messed up Fatima good in terms of legally. So there is the comment of a stripper suing Fatima for damages, pretending to be injured while still working at a club. We know that Heather dances at a club. If I remember correctly, Deja said she only does private parties and whatnot. So I don't know. Maybe she decided to do one or two clubs, as a backup to pay for rent. I don't know. But I do feel like I'm more inclined to believe it's Deja the one pressing charges as opposed to Heather. Because like I said, Deja got, pulled out of the hot tub by her hair. Fatima kept slapping and wailing on her. To me, I think it's Deja. It could be Heather too. But I'm like 75% Deja, 25% on Heather. But you could, well, if they had done the whole thing where they didn't put in the part about pretending to be injured while working at a club, you could argue that, "Oh, I'm suing because you took my child's DNA without asking for it to get tested." Okay, I could probably see that. Like Mike said on Bruh, you could sue anybody for anything. That doesn't mean you're going to win, but you can sue anybody for anything. But regardless, that's pretty much all I got here. Just to know that Fatima, I'm actually interested to see, who's suing her and why. Because like in Sistas, after she busted up Hayden's, father's urn and, jacked up his car and apartment with that baseball bat, and she got arrested, I was happy for it because I was getting tired of these characters being completely reckless and not facing any consequences for their actions. So hopefully this will get Fatima to see that, hey, punching and shooting first isn't always the best answer, because somewhere down the line, you're going to pay for the things you've done. I know some people don't like it when I say that kind of thing because they don't want to see Zach or Fatima get in trouble, but I don't like it when characters are reckless as, they want to be, but then face no consequences, because it just takes the realism out of it. Yeah, the person that screwed them over still gets to walk, but guess what? They did things the right way, being sneaky and conniving, as opposed to, I'm going to beat this person's ass in front of everybody, or I'm going to, destroy this person's private property, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.